Well, I did say I'd save the worst for last, so here we are. The title of this video says it all. I'm looking at the film adaptation to The Cat in the Hat, as requested by Zenith Will Rule. Like I said, this was the film that caused Audrey Giesel, Zeus's widow, to not allow any more live-action film adaptations of her late husband's work. Whether it be just because of how this film and or even the Grinch's adaptation misinterprets what Zeus's source material meant to everyone, or just the failings of this film alone. Either way, it's very fitting that this would be the movie to kill any potential films like it. Both films were produced by Brian Grazer, who has done work on good films before, though it might just be a combination of different screenwriters and directors that caused this to take a sharper drop than its predecessor. After all, both Cat in the Hat and Grinch films followed the same kind of formula of adapting the storybooks but adding subplots to extend the running time. They were also both produced by Imagine Entertainment. So how did this one suffer so much? That's what we're here to find out. This is The Cat in the Hat. Now at first you might think that with the kind of narrator they chose and the kind of set pieces they have, this might have more of a charming, laid-back movie feeling that keeps to the original, even more so than The Grinch. Because in The Grinch, while it was very unique looking in design, a lot of the colors felt washed out. But here, everything's bright and colorful. Well, as we would have learned from The Grinch, that simply won't do. So let's spice it up with obnoxious people that don't quite fit in, even if this were set in Horton Hears a Who.
I'd like to welcome aboard our newest member of the Humberflube family, Jim McFlinigan.
Mr. Humberflube, I wanted to thank you.
Fired.
I beg your pardon?
Fired.
But I...
He lasted about as long as Mooch did.
Tonight is our bi-monthly meet and greet party. Tonight's host is Joan Walden. This is where people can meet our real estate agents in an informal yet hygienic setting. Joan, let me make this perfectly clear. If your house is as messy as last time, you're fired!
Okay, first off, Sheen Hayes, chill out. Second, doesn't it seem unfair to fire someone just because their house isn't clean due to children? What does that have to do with their job? Third, why not just have the meet and greet in your workplace? Why do they have to invite complete strangers to their house just to satisfy your OCD? And no, I don't care if she's a real estate agent. You should not have to invite strangers to your own house just to satisfy your boss. So we loom on over to Mother Joan's house, where we meet the two children of this movie, Conrad and Sally. One is a quiet, bland, unenthused child who tries too hard to put out any personality, and the other is Spencer Breslin. He's pretty much what I just said and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nevins, your attention please. You are about to witness the third most spectacular stunt ever performed under this roof.
Do you know how hard it's getting to tell people that we're related?
Relax, I'll put everything back.
A family picture.
Why did you have to pick today to destroy the house? You know what's happening today.
I tried to tell him, Mom. Mom's throwing a very important party, I said. All of her important clients will be here. But he went right ahead and wrecked the house and let Nevins get away.
Yes, this is exactly the kind of likable personalities I would instill in these children. Granted, the children in the original book and TV special had little to no personality. It's understandable to want to give them more character if they want to extend the morals they bring, but neither child is likable enough that I want to see them through the rest of the movie. Not unless our star character is able to really reform them in some way. Besides Conrad being a rebel and Sally being a stuck-up, we have this asshole named Larry, played by Alec Baldwin. He's trying to get married to Joanne by being an even bigger suck-up, and as part of sucking up to her, he slowly convinces her that she should send Conrad away to a military school to hopefully curb his troubling tendencies.
Not going to military school.
I think you're gonna love it. It's just like summer camp, except with brutal forced marches and soul-crushing discipline.
So they show this movie to the kids so they fall in line?
And one more thing. It's Lawrence, you snot-nosed little son of a wonderful woman who I'm absolutely crazy about. Gosh, I love children.
How did she fall for this buffoon? Oh, and it turns out he's not rich, or fancy, or even has a job. He's a bum!
Don't laugh. I'll bet plenty of you men wear one of these.
So while in a rush to get things ready, Joanne gets called by Mr. Humblefloob, yes, really, to come back to the office because... Anyway, she hires a stereotype to babysit while she goes out.
If you want to make cupcakes, I can take you to your friend Ginny's house.
Jenny's not my friend anymore. Last time we made cupcakes, she wanted to be the head chef. I'm the head chef.
Well, what about Denise then?
She talked back to me, so I ordered her not to speak to me anymore.
And absolutely no one sets foot in the living room or else.
Or else what? You're gonna do what Larry said and send me to military school?
Maybe if you just behave, I wouldn't have to consider military school. I wish I could trust you.
I wish I had a different mom.
I don't like any of these kids. Where's the damn cat? Shouldn't he straighten them out or something? Also, we never learn why he's even like this. Is it because of Larry, or just because Dad died? Either way, this just seems uncalled for. Also, if you really want the living room to be safe, why not just let them stay outside the whole time? That should keep it safe.
To make matters worse, it started to rain.
Okay, fair enough. At least they got that part of the book right. So I guess that means the cat is going to show up soon? Looks like it. Although, why is it already inside the house? Shouldn't it come through the front door?
You saw a monster.
A monster? Where? That could have gone better.
Yeah, I take it back. Send the creature back to hell where it came from. I know what I said! So, here we are. The Cat in the Hat. He's played by Mike Myers, and just like Jim Carrey before him, he adds a new layer of personality to the character by inducing humor. However, whereas the Grinch had more of a humorous side to his grumpy personality, the cat is more of a wisecracker instead of this con artist who knows how to get his way about having fun without being too frightening. I mean, a large cat coming into my house would be freaky, but I wouldn't be too scared given how kind he acts. This guy looks like he's gonna eat my face given how much he mugs the camera. The makeup department did not do it wonders. Not like how they did with the Grinch.
I'm not so good with the rhyming. Not really. No. Look, I'm a cat that can talk. That should be enough for you people.
That was probably the producer's explanation to whoever he test marketed this to. But that's not the worst of his character.
When a mommy cat and a daddy cat love each other very much, they decide that...
No.
Who is this? Oh.
That's my mom.
Awkward.
I don't recall the Grinch being this suggestive. I think the closest it got was that late night house party with the key jar thing. But still, this is how you're going to handle this? Just make it more adult than ever before? They certainly put more effort into making it more adult-oriented than family-oriented, even when they try to incorporate more elements from the book. For instance...
Stop this right now!
Who said that?
Me! Remember the fish? Came home in a baggie, loved me for 2 weeks, and then nothing!
The fish is talking.
Well, sure he can talk, but is he saying anything? No, not really. No.
Hey, Socks! Can it! This cat should not be here. He should not be about. He should not be here when your mother is out.
The fish did indeed talk in the TV special, but earlier it was just a regular goldfish. Now, for no reason, it's sentient and speaking in Seuss rhymes, if not for a short while, but never mind that.
There was this cat I knew back home where I was bred. He never listened to a single thing his mother said. He never used a litter box, he made a mess in the house. That's why they sent him to a vet who cut off both his bow.
Why is this a thing? And all this just to recreate the balancing act from the book? Or rather, do a more absurd version of it? It's not very good when the humor is so juvenile. I will give this movie the benefit of the doubt in having a couple funny moments, like this part where the kids convince the cat to stay.
Something magical and full of wonder.
It's called a contract.
You want us to sign this?
Just a formality, really. Yeah.
Who are they?
Magical time-traveling elves.
This is only something an adult can get, sure, but I just can't help but laugh every time I watch this bit. It's so dumb, yet I like it for some reason. Yet they have to ruin it by following it up with more juvenile humor.
Let's take a look under the hood. Yeah. Where's my dad? Sorry.
Ugh. You're starting to make me regret complimenting you. Larry shows up to steal some food when, of course, he spots the kids jumping on the couch. While Cat is gone for some reason.
Oh, Mr. Quinn, I was just telling Conrad to get off the couch. Bad, Conrad, bad.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, okay?
Nobody likes a suck-up.
What is with the awkward expressions and quips? At least she knows now that Larry's a dick, and after this bit where Cat scratches his ass to get cat dander on him, thereby scaring him away, they go through the other only good joke of the movie, the cupcake making scene.
Welcome to Astounding Products. I'm your host, the guy in the sweater who asks all the obvious questions. Please welcome me! Hello! Now, hello, I'm so excited! And say hello to the amazing Cupcake nature. I'm so excited! Cupcake a what? Cupcake
And even when he gets dark, I can't help but chuckle at this. And I shouldn't. If this were simply a parody of The Cat in the Hat, I would understand it not being a kid's film. But it clearly is so, yet a lot of these jokes will go over kids' heads more so than the Grinch ever did. To add on to the creep factor, when it comes time to cleaning up the mess he made, we have the things to visit.
Meet Thing 2 and Thing 1! Thing 2 would like to clarify that just because he wears the number 2 does not imply in any way that he's inferior to Thing 1.
And all of the above.
He says you may feel free to call him Thing A if you like. He will also accept Super Thing, Thing King, Kid Dynamite, Chocolate Thunder, or Dead.
And then Ben drowned. Apparently, the crate leads to his world and should never be opened. Gee, I wonder if Conrad is going to open it later. Maybe he'll do it during this random chaos scene! So the dog is loose, meaning they have to go get him as he has the lock needed to keep the crate from leaking. And if they don't do it, the mother of all messes will occur. So they lay Mrs. Kwan on it to buy time because she's heavy. Get it? Whatever. Larry grosses us out in more ways than one, while telling Joanne he'll get the dog back. Anything to get Conrad to military school. How about some more adult humor?
Dirty hoe! I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
Come on, Cat.
As if to say Sally gets character development, I guess. She actually asks why her friends didn't invite her to a birthday party. Do you not remember what you told them? Why would they invite you now after you insulted them? Uh-oh, piñata. I know where this is going.
This is bad comedy.
And attempted murder. That's something you need in a kid's film. To speed things along, they have to chase after Larry, who has the dog now, in the cat's car.
Or SLOW for short.
SLOW?
Yeah, slow. It's better than the last name we had. Super Hydraulic Instantaneous Transporter.
Oh, you mean...
No! Quick to the slow!
This cat makes me want to kill him, and I'm pro-cat! After a long chase sequence, they arrive just outside Mom's office. They decide to trick Larry into giving them the dog by... disguising as a hippie. Okay. But now they have to escape him, so they end up dropping... into a rave. Just what the hell is this? No! I don't care how human you think you are, you do not get to hit on someone when you're nothing but an oversized cat thing. He apparently grabs the wrong hat during the commotion, so he's unable to do anything. And with Larry taking Mom home, all hope seems lost. But then Conrad, moping over how he always does the opposite of things, remembers that's how you control the things and gets them to take them home. When they do, Larry manages to make it there since he stole a motorcycle from the things that they were using to disguise themselves as cops. You know what, forget it. Despite the house looking fine, it was just a ruse as the place has merged with the contents of the crate. And now the part I showed once and will forever be a clip in my collection.
This is amazing! It's like a ride in an amusement park!
You mean like at Universal Studios? Cha-ching! Whoa!
Come on, stop!
This is not intense in the slightest. Conrad locks the chest, the house returns to normal, and the mess remains, and the house is pretty much destroyed. Cat reveals he planned everything, and still wants to have fun, and the kids decide enough is enough.
But I thought you two wanted to have fun today.
Look around, Cat. You were right. It's fun to have fun, but you have to know how, and you don't know when enough is enough. Now go!
Susie. Cromwell. Please.
Out!
The two decide to share the blame, and I guess they learned a lesson. Whatever, Cat returns to enact the last part of the story, where they all clean up before Mom gets home. And to make a long story short, Larry gets kicked out for being crazy, the party goes without a hitch, and I guess Mom became more proactive in their fun with her children, and the cat was the narrator the whole time. Whatever, movie over. And thank goodness, this movie was bad. Really bad. If I was fluent in Seuss language, I'd probably come up with a clever way to describe this...
Flatulating acid spitting some zizaroo?
You know what? I'll go with that. It's like they took a look at the live-action Grinch movie, then tried to apply the same style and humor to a story with characters that wouldn't be compatible with it, but ran with it anyway. While the sets look far more colorful than in the Grinch, the characters are all unlikable with how they act and how they performed. The cat especially comes off as this creepy and obnoxious figure who constantly mugs the camera, yells a lot, and makes crummy jokes like no tomorrow. Not to mention all the sexual innuendos that feels tacked on because of all the other adulterated humor we have. It's just a recipe for disaster that undermines the point of the source material and doesn't do anything to add to it. Originally, it wasn't Mike Myers who was going to play the cat. They actually considered getting Tim Allen to play the role, though I can't imagine how he'd be any better than what we did get. Mike Myers can be funny depending on who writes for him, but this is not the kind of film he should be taking part in. Other than that, this film did not share the same success as the live-action Grinch film, not just in terms of reception, but in terms of box office budget. It only made like $134 million back from its $109 million budget. The Grinch, on the other hand, made roughly 3 times its budget, so this was definitely a step back. There were also plans for a live-action sequel that would be based off the original sequel, but again, Lady Seuss pretty much canned any hope of that happening. Supposedly, a reboot by Illumination will happen, though right now we have to settle for the Grinch reboot. In all honesty, this is a film that's so bad, it's unbearable. But I've seen far worse live-action films that I could go on to say I legitimately hate. But this isn't it. At best, it's just a really bad adaptation and a bad film overall that should best be forgotten. Better to read the book or watch the TV special than dig up this cat turd. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got some werewolf movies to find. After all, October approaches, which means Halloween.
Oh, things are complicated. This filthy thing?
She was gonna wear that tonight and you ruined it.
Honey, it was ruined when she bought it.